What is up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. This is my review on Chad Loves Michelle, Season 1, Episode 3, Family Matters. And before we get into this episode, do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to follow me on social media. And do not forget to click the little bell so you can be updated on when I post new videos. Alright, y'all. So, I missed last week's episode. I actually recorded the video. But then, I didn't finish editing, and then Saturday came back around, and I was like, okay, it makes no sense to post this because the new episode is coming out tonight, so it made no sense, so I'm just going to skip that episode. I had a lot to say about that episode. I had a lot to say. So if you still want to see it, let me know, and I will post it just for you guys to see it. So we're going to move on with this week's episode, and with this week, Michelle is at the park, and she's meeting up George so they can work out, and Michelle is so fucking thin. Like, she is real thin. And I don't think I ever realized how thin Michelle was. Like, she is thin. And I know a lot of it probably too has to do with the medication that she's on, probably. But she is really small. So Michelle starts saying that people online, you people, the bad ones, not the good ones, but y'all are online blaming Chad for Michelle going into a mental facility, and which is kind of ridiculous because Michelle has said before she even met Chad that she has issues with depression and stuff like that. So this is nothing new, but to say that he is the reason why she is going into a mental facility is just ridiculous. It is damaging to a relationship. It is just a lot. People feel like people kill me. People have been teasing Michelle for years. Been laughing at Michelle, saying that she's the outcast. Been laughing at this girl for so long. The second Michelle gets with a white boy, all of a sudden everybody's concerned. All of a sudden everybody's concerned. Michelle is who they're concerned about. But before, they teased her. They made fun of her. They laughed at her. And all of a sudden, you know, everybody's keeping high hopes and prayers for her because she was a white man. And now she's this sacred jewel. She wasn't a sacred jewel before. I mean, at least to y'all. I always loved Michelle. I always thought that she always seemed like a great person. And what I like about this show is it is showing her personality. Michelle is fun as hell. She has that quirky sense of humor. Like, she is fun. So Michelle tells George that she was not trying to commit suicide or having thoughts of committing suicide, but the thoughts of why am I here popped into her head. And this is when she decided that she needed to go get help. And George, this was the first time he was hearing this from her, and he really got emotional because you never really know what your friends are going through. You never really know the turmoil they're going through, you know, inside. So to hear her say that, I think it really hit home for him that, you know, my friend has been going through it and I didn't even know. Alright, so Chad and Michelle go out to eat, and they're talking about his younger sister, Lindsay. She's coming into town, and it's always been this kind of disconnect because Chad has always been in Lindsay's life as far as the kids' life as well. Basically, in my opinion, he's been the man in her life. And I think now that he is in a relationship with somebody else and he is getting married and all that, there's some sort of contention between the both of them. Chad said that his sister is not happy with him getting married. Now, I don't know if that's because, I think maybe it's because, okay, I thought, and this could still be so, I don't know, it could be underlying, but maybe she's not happy too because she's a black woman. He's marrying a black woman. He said that she's not happy because she feels like, you know, he is starting a life with somebody else and leaving her behind. But I think too, it's probably because she's black too. I don't know. I always think shit like that. Alright, so Lindsay gets into town with the baby Ava. So Lindsay and Michelle go ahead and take a walk. And Michelle is asking her, you know, how does she feel about the whole marriage thing, about her and Chad getting married? And Lindsay was saying, you know, I don't really feel two ways about it. She said that she never really felt like her and Michelle had a real connection. She said that she feels she really doesn't like the fact that he's getting married because he has been there for her when their dad died, and he basically has been the man in her life. Her kids and her lived with him for many years, and he was basically the man. He was their father. He was the person that took care of them. And now that he is moving on and getting a life with somebody else, she feels left out. She feels like he is pushing her to the side so he can go and do his own thing. So Michelle, you understand, but at the same time, when a man gets married to a woman, when a woman gets married to a man, that is their relationship. They covet their relationship. So Michelle started quoting scripture to her and basically tried to reassure her that even though they get married and they're joining a union and hopefully have children, that their family is going to surround them and their family isn't going anywhere. Just because she's coming into the fray doesn't mean that she is taking him away. Alright, so Chad, Michelle, Lindsay, and the baby goes to the beach. And Lindsay asks Michelle, does she want kids? Because they've been taking care of the baby. They've been helping out with the baby. So Michelle seems really like a natural fit when it comes to kids. So she's asking her if she wants kids. And Michelle said, I didn't even want a man. I didn't even want to get married. And she said because she is older, she got older, she had become comfortable in the fact that maybe a husband and kids wasn't in the cards. And but now that she's with Chad, she has been hearing her clock more, and she has been, getting that whole baby feeling. So she wants to have kids with him, and she wants to build a family with him. And the older you get, your clock ramps up. Your clock ramps up at a certain point. And it's different for every woman, but your clock ramps up at a certain point, and then it kind of shuts off. So my clock is kind of slowing down the older I get. I am not in like, oh my God, I gotta have a baby. I gotta have a baby now. Bitch, I'm gonna be 39. I'm not doing that as much I was when I was 36. Because I knew I have some issues going on too. So I knew at a certain point being pregnant was probably not going to happen for me. Alright, so Chad and Michelle go to see their therapist. And Michelle was telling the therapist about their trip to Colorado and how Chad pointed out many different places that he lived. And basically Chad was saying that after his parents got divorced, his mom moved away, his father got on drugs. And he had the ability to move with his mom, but he did not want to move because he was afraid that his father would commit suicide. Apparently his father died of diabetes, but his father's father committed suicide when his father was 17. Apparently the father was cheating on Chad's grandmother, and Chad's father saw him, told the mom decided to leave him. After that, he couldn't take it anymore. He committed suicide because she left him. So the father probably had that kind of looming over him. He was the reason his father died. So when it came to him and getting divorced and the wife leaving, it probably trickled the same kind of anxiety and the same kind of thought process too. So Chad said that his father will call him and his sister and basically say his goodbyes as if he's going to kill himself. So Chad was always trying to be there for his father because he was afraid that his father would, end his life. So the doctor said that this is where him and Michelle are connected, because Michelle is a trauma survivor and he is a trauma survivor. And I think that's how they mesh, even though Chad doesn't really like to talk about it. Michelle suggests that he seeks therapy one-on-one, because I suggest everybody seek therapy, regardless if you are having suicidal thoughts or it don't even have to be that serious. I think people need therapy. This is why we have therapists, because some people just need help. That's one of the reasons why he was so there for his sister, because his father was so disjointed that Chad had to be the father in her life. He had to be the man in his sister's life. Therefore, he became the man in his nephew's life. So Chad does need therapy. He does need help, but will he get it? I don't really know. So they do an exercise in regards to gender roles, and basically about the things man and wife or man and woman do in relationships. Do you think something is a man's role? Do you think something is a woman's role? And they were basically 50-50 on everything. Michelle is at the point, Chad wants her to understand how it is, the nature of man and woman, that the woman should submit to the man. And Michelle is not about that. Michelle is a Destiny's Child. She is a mogul. Michelle don't want to submit to no fucking body, because honestly, Michelle don't need to. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of people get confused about submission. Submission doesn't mean a bad thing. It really doesn't. And I can do a video on this because of my thoughts of submitting. But people think that, oh, the woman has to cook, clean, do all the housework, and the man just sits on the couch and scratches balls and all that shit, and she has to submit and bring him his food and all. That's not really submission, especially not in 2018. There is a way, submission is not a bad thing. It's just that you have to submit to the right person, and that person has to submit to you. So I can do a more of a video on this if you guys want me to. Let me know down below. I can do that for you, because my views are a lot different than people in 2018. So just let me know if you want me to do that. But Chad wants Michelle to understand that he is the man of the house. Y'all have to understand, the husband leads, but the wife moves everything forward. So even though he's leading, he ain't really leading. Okay? Y'all just gotta understand that part. Alright, so Chad and Lindsay go out to eat, and he's asking her, you know, how does she feel about Michelle? And basically she reiterated the same thing she told Michelle, that she feels that her and Chad's relationship is different because he is with someone now, and the boys feel the same way. They feel like they have no place in his life, and to me, it seemed like she's jealous. It seemed like she's just a bitter, jealous person. And she wants her brother for herself. And she would prefer him to be single, lonely, without anyone, as long as he's taking care of her. She just seems selfish to me. And it really pissed me off, because she is trying to make him feel guilty for living his life. Chad has been by himself for a long time. He has taken care of everybody around him. He finally wants to be able to take care of himself. He found a woman that he loves. He wants to marry her and have a family with her. And this bitch is upset because she will no longer be the most important person in his life. Get a man, Lindsay. Because it seems like that's what you need. It seems like that's what you want. You're having kids with who, God knows who, and obviously they're not staying with you because you are so adamant that your brother needs to be lonely just because you need somebody to depend on. You can still depend on the man. Just because he's getting married, that does not mean that he's going to excommunicate you out of his life. But you seem like a selfish person. You don't want this man to be happy because you're not happy. So you would rather him take care of you rather than you take care of your goddamn self. It really upset me, because what she's saying is, I don't want you to be happy. That's what she's telling him. And then he was like, well, so do you want me to just say, Michelle, I'm sorry. I'd rather not be with you. I'd rather, make sure that my family's straight by me being alone for the rest of my life. So let me take care of my family and good luck to you. And she said, I don't want that. But she does. She does not want him to be with anybody. And I don't care if Michelle was black, purple, or pink. I don't think this girl would even want her brother to be happy with anybody. As long as he's there at her beck and call, taking care of her and her goddamn kids, I think that's when she's fine. But when he's trying to start his life, he's finally trying to start his life, she don't want that. She's a selfish person. Fuck her. I don't care. So Lindsay and Michelle go out to eat and trying to bond some more. Michelle had her have a day to herself where she got her eyebrows done and all that stuff, a day of beauty while they took care of the baby. So her and Michelle are Michelle is desperately trying to bond with this girl because that is his sister. And they had a pleasant conversation. The trip was cool. Michelle and Chad took her and the baby back to the airport, and they flew about their business, and that was it. Alright, y'all, so that was my recap on Chad Loves Michelle. Let me know what you thought about the episode. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to check out my website, justbeher.com. Black Friday's coming up. I got a Black Friday sale, 20% off everything. If you sign up VIP, it's 25% off, plus some free gifts. But anyways, I'm done pissed off. Bye.